Hey everyone, welcome back to Anu Talk Show. How are you doing? So, in today's episode, I want to have an uncomfortable conversation with you. So, if you are a woman of color coach and you are an expert, you have an expertise, and you have been in this coaching industry for a while, you have clients, you have lots of testimonials, you know you can actually help people transform their lives. You have done that over and over again. You have proven that for yourself. But now you are realizing, okay, you are not signing consistent high ticket clients at that highest price. I want you to hear this. You cannot change if you are not challenged. Write this down, put that in the comments, have it on a sticky note. Like, you cannot change if you are not challenged. And the reason I want to actually talk to you about this is because I was having this talk with a client of mine, and it's because I see so many brilliant, amazing, high achieving women of color coaches doing the comfortable thing, right? Over and over and over again. Means, for example, you are doing the same content strategy since 2021. And now you're wondering why nothing is changing. You are having the same conversation in the DMs. You are running the same sales call with the same energy. And then you're asking yourself, why am I still stuck at that 5K month mark, that 10K month mark? Because nothing in your business is challenging you right now. And if nothing is challenging you, nothing is changing. So let's talk about this today. And I also want to share a personal story with you because I think this is going to resonate with a lot of you. So when I started first with scaling my business, growing my business, I thought I was doing everything right. Means I was posting content on Instagram, on Facebook, here and there, on my podcast and YouTube. I was showing up because the number one thing a lot of people you are hearing is you have to be consistent with showing up. So I was showing up. I was having sales conversations in the DMs, but I was actually avoiding the things that actually challenged me. I was avoiding for years. I was avoiding looking at my sales data, my sales call data, because every time I reviewed a sales call, I would actually tell my brain, like my brain would tell me, you could have done this better. A lot of shame was coming up, a lot of guilt, a lot of, oh my God, you lost so much money on the table because you are not good at closing the call. You are literally broke. You are not good at it. You are not good, like good enough for this. And you are going to fail. Those are the things my brain kept saying. So instead of looking at that data and learning from it, right, I avoided it for years, for months, for years. So I was also avoiding raising my prices because I had this voice in my head saying like, why, like, who are you to charge that much, who would actually pay you that much. And I was also avoiding niching down because it felt safer to stay broad, because my brain told me I am talking to more people when I stay broad, right? And then, even though I was showing up on live stream here and there, I was also avoiding going live, going live on my YouTube, on my Facebook, on my Instagram, um, but sharing that bold opinion, that perspective that my ideal client needed to hear in order to move forward. I didn't do that because I had this fear, what if people disagree with me and start talking shit about me publicly? So here is what I've realized. Every single area that where I was avoiding discomfort was the exact area where my business was leaking money, clients, impact, peace, fun, and all of the good things. So the places where I was most comfortable were the places where I was most stuck. You can write this down. Where the places where you are the most comfortable is also the places where you are the most stuck. And the moment I decided to challenge myself, to sit in that comfort, right? To start reviewing the sales call, even when it felt like terrible, I was triggered, I was like shaming myself, to raise my prices even when my hands were shaking, to niche down even when my brain was screaming, this is too risky, like no one will buy this. That is when everything started to change in my business. So, right now in 2026, the market has changed. Your buyers are more discerned, they have changed, they are more informed. The coaching industry is saturated. We are in a trust recession, means you need to build so much trust before someone pays you high ticket. And if you're still operating the way you did in 2019, 2020, 2021, you are still going to stay stuck. Because this is the season where you need to be challenged in order to grow, in order to scale your impact, your income, and the life you are living. And I want you to walk you through exactly what that looks like when you are challenging yourself. So let me describe who I'm talking to in this episode right now, because I want you to feel seen, right? I want you to feel like, okay, Anu gets me. You are a woman of color coach. You are an expert. You are smart. You are qualified. You probably have bachelor's degree, master's, maybe even PhD. You have so many certifications on the wall, and you have a real expertise. You have experiences where you helped yourself or your clients get the results they desire. Like you already are helping people to transform their lives. But your business still feels like a grind. Your revenue goes up and down. It's literally like an emotional roller coaster. Some months are good, some months are dry, and you are watching coaches with less experience than you close clients left and right. And you keep thinking, I should be further along. So, what do? You start looking for something new. You start telling yourself, I need a new strategy. You start telling yourself, I need a new funnel. I need to complicate. This is too simple. And I need a new audience. And maybe you are even thinking, this niche is not working anymore. So let me change that, right? You are thinking more content. I need more visibility. I need more leads. But here is what is really going on. You are not looking for a new strategy. You are looking for a strategy that does not challenge you right now. So you are looking for a way to grow without being uncomfortable. And that does not exist, baby boo boo, because the strategy that you already have might actually be good enough. It is good enough, but you are not being challenged to execute it at a higher level. You are not being challenged on your messaging to go bold, to have a non BS approach. You are not being challenged on your sales process, right? Don't mother your clients on a call. Challenge them, risk that relationship on the call. You are not doing that. You're not being challenged on the beliefs that are keeping you small as a woman of color coach expert. And without that challenge, you just keep circling. That's why you keep circling. So here is the perspective I shared with my client, and I want you to give today. And I need you to I need you to sit it with it, even if it is uncomfortable and showing you discomfort right now. So most women of color coaches, expert coaches, are addicted to comfort disguised as strategy, right? And let me say that again, or write this down. You are addicted to comfort disguised as strategy. And what that looks like is you're spending 3 months perfecting your website instead of having more sales conversation with prospects in the DMs. It looks like you are buying another course or another membership instead of implementing what you already know, or instead of investing in a coaching that helps you to implement instead of staying at that learning curve. It looks like that you are still staying in your one-on-one coaching model because launching a group offer feels scary in the industry that you are in. It looks like that you are posting safe and educational content instead of going against the grain and sharing bold opinions that will challenge your audience, that will also challenge your competitors because you are sharing how you are doing it in a different way than them. And I get this. That is the challenge. And I get it, and I get why we do these things because we, as women of color, we grew up in an environment where safety was everything. You had to perform well, you had to not make mistakes because mistakes meant criticism, mistakes meant you were not good enough. And so your brain learned that comfort equals safety. But when you are an entrepreneur and in business, comfort does not equal safety. Because in business, comfort means or comfort equals stagnation. So be honest with you, is your business stagnant right now? Because the coaches who are constantly signing high ticket clients are not doing it because they found some secret strategy that you do not have. They are doing it because they are willing to be challenged in the areas that matter and that matter in the season of business they are in. So they are willing to hear that your messaging is generic and fix it. They are willing to hear it without that drama around it. They are willing to hear that your sales process has gaps and rebuild it with that coach. They are willing to hear that you are undercharging, that you are playing small, and they are ready to raise their prices even though it is terrifying, even though they have those second guessing thoughts. So growth requires challenge. And a challenge requires discomfort, and that discomfort requires support so that you can do it over and over and over again. Does that make sense? Because here is the thing, I'm not telling you to white knuckle your way through business alone. Business journey, especially if you are in this online industry, you are already doing lots of your stuff alone. That is not what I am saying. What I am saying is that you need to be in an environment where someone is challenging you. Not ChatGPT, because ChatGPT is not challenging you. This is why the coaching industry will never die as long as people are living on this beautiful earth. Because ChatGPT will give you the strategy, it will give you what you want to hear. But a coach is challenging you, even though you don't want to hear that. And that's where the growth is happening. So, you want someone who is looking at your business. You need someone who is looking at your numbers, who is looking at your sales call. They are telling you the truth. That's why you need a coach who tells you what you are doing wrong, not to tear you down, not to trigger you, not to help you to overcome that, but to build you up. Hey, Meghana, what's good? Leverage 20 family is here. Hi, how are you doing? So, Meghana, we are talking about you cannot change if you are not challenged. And that means looking at your sales call data and still doing the work. Um, but yeah, you cannot build something strong on a foundation of avoidance. So if you're running away to look at your sales call data, to look at why the content is not working, to look at why the conversion is not high, you are building something on a foundation of avoidance and nothing that you can, like, you are building something that will actually break eventually. And this happened to me, which is why I want to give you the three specific areas where you need to start challenging yourself or have a support um, from your coach, from someone else if you want to sign consistent high ticket clients. Hey Meghana, thank you so much for sharing. I'm awful at sales call. Yeah, it goes back to believing and having still that shame and that guilt around sales call and how you performed. But let's go to number one. Maybe that will help you to actually start looking at your sales call data consistently. So now, number one thing you need to do, or the area you need to start challenging yourself, is your sales identity. Most women of color coaches, expert coaches, they avoid reviewing their sales call. And I talked about this before. You avoid it because that triggers shame, and your brain says you messed up, you are bad at this, you are not cut for this, you are not good enough to run this business. But your sales calls are just the greatest teacher that you can have, because they will tell you exactly where the objections are coming up, where beliefs are dropping, where you are losing the people on the call. So if you are not reviewing your sales data, if you are not doing evaluation and having a coach looking over at it, you are flying blind and you are leaving money on the table, because you are getting more leads are coming, and they are booking a call. Because you are not looking at that sales call data, you are not able to increase your conversion rate. The challenge is to detach your worthiness from your performance. The challenge here is to detach your worthiness of how much money you are making in your business, because your sales call is simply data. That's it. It's neutral. It doesn't tell anything about you. It's neutral. So from a neutral perspective, how can you review that, learn from it, get better at it, and close the next sales call? That's the number one area you need to look at when it comes to start challenging yourself to scale your business. Number two, challenge your content. So if you're hearing the same objections on every single sales call, I want you to hear this. Your content is not doing its job. Your content sucks. Sorry to tell you that, but it's true. Your content should be pre-selling. Means by the time someone gets on a call with you, they should already believe that you understand their problem, that your process works, and that now, like the urgency is now the right time for them to buy, to invest, to solve that problem. But most women of color coaches are creating safe content, right? Tips, motivation, inspiration, generic advice that we are already seeing all over the industry. None of that handles the real beliefs your buyers are carrying. So the challenge here is start to be bold. You are already bold. You have, like, maybe privately you are completely different than publicly, right? Share your authentic version online. Be bold, share controversial opinions, take a stand. Go against the grain, go against what the rest of the industry is saying. That is leadership. You people want to see that you are leading them. And that leadership is what attracts high ticket clients who are ready to invest right now. And high ticket clients, they see that urgency is right now. The time is right now. They know if they wait longer, that there will be more cost waiting for them. Number three, challenge the environment you are in. And I love this. So if you are in a room where no one is pushing you, where everyone is just affirming you, telling you that you are doing great, you are in the wrong room. You are in the wrong room. And I say this with love, because affirmation without accountability is the trap, and that keeps you in the business season that you are in, that keeps you playing small. It keeps you playing small. You need to be in a room where someone tells you that your messaging is too broad. You need to be in a room where someone tells you that your messaging is BS, where someone pushes back on your pricing, where someone sees or says, I see the gap in your sales process, do sales call evaluation, come back. You need someone who looks at your mindset, who looks at the beliefs you have and challenge those beliefs, right? Because most women of color coaches are not being challenged enough. They are not. They are being cuddled, and cuddling keeps you comfortable. And we already said that. If you are comfortable, you are not being challenged. And if you are not being challenged, there is no growth for you happening. So, comfort right now keeps you stuck. Meghana says, I love being in your room for these reasons. Ah, I'm so happy, Meghana. You have overcome so much, and I'm so proud in the season you are in and how you are growing. I love coaching you, and I only see good things happening for you and for your business. Okay, so if you are sitting here right now, okay, you are watching this live, you are listening to this episode, and if this is resonating with you, where you are seeing, like, okay, I'm too long in that comfort bubble, I understand. In order for me to grow, I need to be challenged, which means for a season it will feel uncomfortable. And if you're thinking, okay, I have been avoiding being challenged, I have been choosing comfort over growth, I know my business needs something different, I simply want you to ask one question. The one question will challenge everything that you are doing today, tomorrow, in a week, in 2 months. Everything. The question is, what would your future self tell you to do right now? Listen to your intuition. You already know what this future self is already telling you. You just have to keep quiet and be silent to listen closely to that intuition. So, what would your future self tell you to do right now? Not your current self who is afraid, not the version of you who is second guessing, the version of you 6 months from now who is signing 3, 5, 10 high ticket clients a month, who has a group offer that is full, that is running on evergreen, who has a messaging so sharp that people on a sales call repeat back to you the messaging you have. What would that version of you do today? Because I can tell you from experience, that version of you made a decision that was uncomfortable. That version of you chose to be challenged instead of choosing to stay safe. I remember when I was challenged to go live for 30 days, I had all these thoughts why I shouldn't do it. It was very challenging. But I remember and I listened to my future self, and my future self told me, do this in order to get better with your messaging. So, this is exactly what we do inside Leverage 20. I help women of color coaches leverage their expertise, refine their messaging, raise their prices, and build a business that actually scales with fun, fulfillment, and freedom. Not through hustle, not through burnout, through powerful high ticket messaging, bold decision making, and a community that will challenge you to become the coach your future self already is. So, if you are ready to stop circling and to stop being in this comfort zone, and you know that you are capable of scaling to 20K a month. You know that you are capable and you have the capacity to hold more clients, serve them, get more clients. Send me the word clients in the DMs on Instagram, and I will personally get back to you with more information how we can start working together in the next 7 days. Okay? Before I go, I want to leave you with this. A year from now, you will either be grateful that you were challenged, or you will be wondering why nothing changed. And I also want you to look at the last 6 months, the last 12 months, how they looked. Because the difference is the decision that you make today. So, thank you so much for tuning in. Do me one favor, share this with the woman of color expert coach who needs to hear this message today. And I will see you in the next episode. Bye.